Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Swiss. Continuing on with MLB Thursday, we got Angels, D-Backs in Arizona, but we'll go through every single game on the board on the live show tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Angels, Diamondbacks in Phoenix. Let's go.
Welcome to the Swiss. The Swiss. Swiss. Hey, get the Swiss.
All right, like I said, the Angels are on the road in Arizona here. Diamondbacks are favored at home pretty heavily, minus 178. Total sitting at 8.5. Got Griffin Canning, the can man, pitching for the Angels against Pfaadt for the Snakes. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. We got a pretty heavy lean on the Snakes through the first 5 innings and the full game. 2.1 to 3.32 after 5. 4.1 to 6.05 final score. So let's take a look at this matchup, and we'll start with the Angels bats. The last 14 days, 30th in WRC+, 30th in OPS, 30th in WOBA. Worst lineup in baseball. Do seem to be coming around a little bit. 17th, 14th, and 15th in the last 7 days. I mean, last 7 days is a crazy small sample size. But if we look at their numbers against righties, again, in the last 14 days, worst lineup in baseball. Last 30 days, one of the worst lineups in baseball. Last 7 days, 13th, 13th, and 12th. Okay, Angels, showing some signs of life offensively. That being said, not so much on the road. In the last 30 days, I mean, average to below average the last 14 days, bottom 3, bottom 4 in the MLB, and they're not getting to righty starters. The last 5 righty starters to pitch against the Angels, they combine for a 2.37 ERA and an 0.82 whip. So they have not been getting to righty starters. And if you look at the game logs, you can see who those righty starters are. They got blanked by Hunter Brown. I mean, they did get to Verlander a little bit. 7 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings. Also, they were able to get a few runs across on Cease, but I mean, didn't get to Waldron at all. Got shut out by Castillo, got shut out by Bryce Miller, got shut out by Brian Wu. So as a whole, the Angels haven't been touching righty starters, which brings us to Brandon Pfaadt, who's had a couple rough starts in a row. 7.15 ERA and a 1.50 whip in his last 2 starts. Overall, he's been okay this season. The ERA needs to come down a little bit, but a 1.14 whip and a 3.61 expected FIP, those are solid. So he's actually pitched pretty well this on the year. Just had some bad luck as far as runs getting across. Been much better at home on the season at home. 3.77 ERA and a 1.10 whip. His last home start was excellent. His last 3 home starts, 2.70 ERA and an even 1 whip. So he's pitched well at home, which means we might have ourselves a little bit of a buy low spot on Brandon Pfaadt. He's been better at home, and he's coming off 4 straight road starts. May 15th against the Reds. That's the last time he pitched at home, and he went 7 innings in that one, just 1 run. Now, I mean, went to San Diego, Citi Field, at Texas, at Dodgers. So, I mean, he's been pitching on the road all over the place. Finally gets to come back home against a really bad Angels lineup. Now, if you are looking to back the Angels, you can look at the pitch mix. They've actually hit the 4-seam fastball and the slider well, 12th and 5th in the last 30 days, and those are Brandon Pfaadt's main 2 pitches. So if you are looking to bat the Angels, which I'm probably not, but if you are, there's something you can take away. Now, on the other side, we got the Arizona bats, and the Snakes are definitely hitting, man. In the last 30 days, 11th in WRC+, 10th in OPS, 12th in WOBA, top 5 lineup in the last 14 days, top 5 lineup in the last 7 days, in the last 14 days at home, 2nd in WRC+, 1st in OPS, 1st in WOBA. So they've been hitting at home in Phoenix. They're also getting to right-handed pitching, which was not the case early in the season. They started off the season crushing lefties. It's kind of flipped around. In the last 30 days, this is a top 10 lineup against righties. Last 14 days, last 7 days, all solid-looking numbers against right-handed pitching. But if you look at the last 4 righty starters they've seen, the numbers look shitty. 2.53 ERA and a 1.22 whip. Why is that? It's because of these 2 game logs right at the top here. Matt Waldron and Michael King. Matt Waldron throws a knuckleball. So, yes, he does get included in the right-handed starters list, but he is not a traditional right-handed starter. So, if you struggle to get to Matt Waldron, that would not lead me to believe that all of a sudden you can't hit righties. That's a very strange circumstance. He's different than most other pitchers. So it's really just Michael King. It's 1 game where they didn't get to a righty starter. The 3 before that, they got to Vasquez, got to Jordan Hicks, got to Severino. So as a whole, Arizona's been hitting righties. Definitely not a great sign for Griffin Canning that he got hit up last time he pitched against Arizona on June 30th of last year. So almost exactly 1 year ago. He went 6 innings, but he gave up 5 earned runs, 3 hits and 4 walks in that game. That being said, Griffin Canning's actually been pitching pretty well. In his last 2 starts, 2.77 ERA and a 1.08 whip. 4.43 expected FIP indicates he's had a little bit of good luck, but overall he's been solid. His last 3 road starts, 2.55 ERA and a 1.02 whip. Again, the expected FIP's a little high for my liking, but then we get to the righty-lefty splits. Griffin Canning really struggles against lefties. 396 WOBA against lefties compared to 262 for righties. Whip goes from 168 against lefties to 105 versus righties. Lefties in the Arizona lineup, Carroll, Marte, Peterson, 1, 2, and 3 in their order. They're going to have 5 lefties in their lineup, including the first 3 hitters. That is not a good sign for Griffin Canning. Another not so good sign for Griffin Canning is he's not a right-handed pitcher that generates strikeouts. Just a 15.51% strikeout rate on the year. Arizona much better against righties that don't generate strikeouts. He also throws the four-seam fastball a lot. Arizona first in Major League Baseball in runs above average against the four-seam fastball, third in the last 30 days. So overall, this is looking like a really rough spot for Griffin Canning. I think the Snakes get to him. As far as bullpens, I mean, good Lord, these units are terrible. These are 2 of the worst bullpens in baseball on the season. You could make an argument these are both bottom 5 bullpens. It hasn't changed. They're both still bottom 5 bullpens in the last 30 days. So I don't know who to give the edge to there. And if you look at home away splits, I mean, same. I guess Arizona's bullpen has been slightly better at home, but this is just two bad units here. Offensively against bullpens, last 14 days, these two teams are pretty even. 11th, 10th, and 11th for Arizona, 12th, 15th, 13th for the Angels. So no edge at all in the late innings of this game.
So I actually cut that video off. I was waiting to see the bullpen usage from tonight's game, but it's 8-0 Angels in the bottom of the 6th right now. So actually 6th inning just ended. I very seriously doubt either of these teams are going to use high leverage arms here. As far as betting this game, I think it's a snake spot. I know I was talking about how Arizona's been getting to righties, but they didn't touch Jose Soriano tonight. Well, Jose Soriano's a different type of righty. He throws 100 consistently. This dude's throwing 99, 100 all game. He's a very unique type of right-handed pitcher. Basically, what I'm saying is, just because the D-backs didn't get to Soriano, doesn't mean I'm going to throw out all their numbers against right-handed pitching from the last couple weeks. They've been getting to righty starters. It's a perfect spot for Griffin Canning to come back down to earth. He's been pitching well on the road here, coming off a big loss. I'm considering laying the 1.5 here. So it'll be Arizona minus 1.5 or Arizona team total over. I'm going to go with one of those. I'll put them both on the screen. I'll let you know which I decide on the live show. I haven't placed a bet yet, but it'll definitely be one of those two. Speaking of which, live show 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Top bets posted on KyleKirms.com if you're signed up for Sauce Network Plus. All that, if you're interested, just head over to the website. Have ourselves a good one. Remember to bet responsibly.